All right, so welcome to EVTalk. Hi everyone, this is episode 3, and we are here to discuss the BCP that happened during the first announcement of the community quarantine. And I am here with two of our BCP leads, and I will give them the floor to them so that they can introduce themselves. Let's start with Beth.
Oh, hi, my name is Beth. You may have seen me around the floor. I head the uh, ano ba ngayon? Compliance and growth and compliance department of Eastvantage, and I was also tasked to uh, uh, take care of the business continuity planning pre-pandemic, like immediately pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and then I spearheaded the initiative to get everybody working from home and all of that. I've been with EV since 2014. So I think that was January of 2014. So coming up to ano ba, math, 7 years now, I guess, in 2021. I started as a senior account manager. So account management, I was basically taking care of, like I was a BP basically. And then I transitioned to head the sales and marketing departments. And then now I'm with growth and compliance and also handling facilities.
Hi everyone. I hope you're doing well in your homes. I'm James Laksamana. I'm now the head of Eastvantage ICT team, and I'm currently staying with EV for almost 4 years now. I came in EV as an intern. I was first hired by Eastvantage as an intern last September of 2016. And after 4 months, I was blessed to that EV has given me an opportunity to be part of the EV family. So they asked me if I can stay as a regular employee, and with no hesitation, of course, that's why I'm still here. I've grabbed it, and so yeah.
Hi everyone. Sorry, my voice is not that good today. But yeah, I am Sipin and I'm the senior business partner. I have been with Eastvantage for more than 18 months now. So still consider myself as a newbie.
I think favorite EV milestone would be um, moving to the 24th floor. Siguro one of them would be that, just because it felt like growing up to have the entire floor to ourselves. Like we in the beginning, like we shared it with Yoga Plus, and then but I guess the 11th we had all. Did we have the 11th? Yeah, 11th we had all of it. I know, but somehow, like, just having a fresh space and just the entire space to ourselves. Yeah, that felt like growing up a little bit. So I guess that's one of my favorite milestones, among others.
In my almost 4 years, I can say that my favorite EV milestone was the recent one that we had, which is the getting certified as a PCI DSS compliant. So for me, that's really is a big milestone for us coming from it's our the biggest milestone from the IT team ever since so far, because we literally crawled for it. It was literally blood, sweat, and tears for us to get it done. So yeah.
My favorite milestone, I think my favorite milestone is the resilience our team had shown when the lockdown actually started. There were on 16th of March when there was the announcement of lockdown. I actually saw a lot of our team members raising their hands up uh, to accomplish what I think would not have been done if they were not there. People stuck in office, people bringing their transport, private transport to uh, send people to their home, helping to send the IT equipments to their home. I think that was an immense thing to do, and our people showed that resilience. I think I'm very grateful. I think, and also it shows how close knit our company is, and how we treat each one as a family and helping each one out.
All right, thank you for that, Sipin. You already answered my first question, actually. So thank you for that. So I will ask Beth how her experience was during the March 16th day of March. Is that correct? March
Yep.
16th? Yep, just
Yes, it
two
is.
days after my wedding.
D
Wedding, guys.
yeah, D-Day. I was
It
very
was
worried about your wedding, Yang, but like I'm glad that it went through. Sorry I wasn't there, but
It's all right. It's pandemic, but
yeah.
yeah. So
I
how was your experience, Beth?
it wasn't entirely a surprise because we've been preparing for it. Us in the Mancom, and you'll know about it. Us in the Mancom have been preparing for the pandemic since February, and even as early as late January, because we knew that it was really getting out of hand in China, and it was just a matter of time. So we were really closely monitoring it. So but during the pandemic itself, I was actually quite surprised at how we were able to roll the plan out with relative ease. So, like it's no secret that we were really able to deploy many of our associates in a work from home setup relatively fast. So that was my experience of the first days of the pandemic. It was although it was pleasantly surprising, but I wasn't really that surprised at all.
Thank you for that. So, for a point of view of an associate, Kel, can you share your experience with us?
Yes. I was there the day they announced the lockdown, and then the day after they actually closed off all the roads leading to BGC. So I was there were no transport that day, so I walked from from our apartment in Makati to the office, only to be blocked at the near the exit near stopover.
Mm-hmm.
So
Morgan. Yeah.
yeah, Morgan, JB Morgan. So yep, I was stopped there. There were soldiers in the checkpoint, so they weren't letting anybody in or out, even if it's you can only get in if you're in the medical field, if you're in the food industry. So yeah, I went there to get my uh, Wi-Fi because I
Pocket
didn't.
Wi-Fi. Yeah. I
Yep.
actually remember you contacting us for the pocket Wi-Fi, saying, "Hey, I'm already here. There's a checkpoint here. I cannot pass through. If you could, get the Wi-Fi, hand over the Wi-Fi to me here." So I actually remember you from that.
Yep. So yeah, you were there, and Sipin was also there. He was the one who was he was the one inside the office who can
yeah.
get the Wi-Fi's for for me, and
At
he took his
poor
time. And
Cal actually waited for almost 2 hours near JP Morgan.
but yeah, yeah, they were very helpful, both of you guys. So I really appreciate it. I'm very thankful for you guys. Even though in the end we weren't able to get the Wi-Fi, but eventually it was sent to us when things quieted down a bit. So yeah, very grateful for all the help that you provided that day, and it was really it was really something that nobody of us expected would happen, and you were there to help us. So very thankful, guys.
All right. So, you, James, can you share your experience as the one with Sipin handing out all of the equipment?
I'm not actually with Sipin during
How?
that time. It's what
All right.
kind of I was kind of ashamed because apparently before the lockdown started, I was on 14 days quarantine. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you
during that
went to
time,
Japan.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I was totally out of the picture because
Mr.
yeah,
Japan.
because I recently came back from vacation, and with Beth mentioned earlier, even before the lockdown, they are already preparing for this virus. So I was the guinea pig for the for the 14 days quarantine. So I was actually still in Japan when the BCP team has implemented the 14 days quarantine for everyone uh, who's coming back to the Philippines or who've been from a different country. So if you've been from a different country, uh, it is you will be under 14 days quarantine. So during the lockdown, I was totally out of the picture. I was only able to help deliver computers 2 weeks after the lockdown. So since then, we've been delivering asset and peripherals weekly from the IT team.
I think the very first thing was the first BCP call that we had. So I think Beth had clearly mapped out on certain things that each team member or each department lead has to do. So it was kind of clear to us that what has to be done if there is a problem that arises. But still, I think when the moment came, it was still, though everyone know what is the process, but it was still a decision. People on the ground has to take the decision, right? And that's when I think the most important part was getting our people home safe, because there was a curfew in BGC which started at 8 o'clock, and we had close to, if I'm not wrong, close to around 40, 50 people in office in the night on the same day. There were people in GB who had finished their shift, but they were sitting in office till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because they didn't have any transportation. So the first thing first was to get the people home, and I think there were close to four of I think 4 or 5 people who had car with them. So they started. They logged out. They said we are ready to do half day shift, but they logged out. They started uh, dropping these people at home. Then we had Yuri's car. I think Yuri's car was one of the most important factor on getting these people home. So we got this done. The second day was a bit more. We were clueless because we didn't know whether we can send the equipments or not. We cannot shut down the process, so we had to reach out to the clients. So from an operations perspective, first thing first, we had to inform the clients. There were a lot of clients who were logging in the morning. So we started reaching out to everyone. Again, between me, Cha, I think Dan, Richie at that time, we reached out to every client that we had been informed what the situation is. And then came the IT part, giving the equipments. Um, yeah, that was the crazy stuff. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know which route we can take. I didn't know Tagalog, and I had to go to deliver a lot of places. So one of the experience that I was going to Laguna to deliver some systems, and I was stopped at around 4 or 5 checkpoints, and they were not speaking English. All I had to do is show my ID card and the document that Beth had shared, and I said IT po, salamat po, and I was just, and they just left me because they saw so many systems. We delivered close to like, if I'm not wrong, we closed delivered around 24 systems between Laguna and Cavite on the same day, and it kind of helped us start the process. We knew that this is what we can do, uh, and then I think IT operations, they all got together. We got the setup done. The I think the best part was in both these places. These are far off places, and never been to these places since I've been to Philippines. But when I went there, for example, in Cavite, we had close to 10 systems that we had to deliver to different places in Cavite. But some of the agents just stood up and they said, "Don't deliver everywhere. Deliver it in my place. We will ensure that it goes to everyone within the night." And they did that. It's I think a classic example of everyone working together. I think that one or I think that 1 week has been was a really good eye opener that everyone can start together, and if they do, I think it becomes easier to get the work done, and everyone can be safe. So that's what I learned from that. Uh, Post that, I think that experience actually taught people to come out of their comfort zone. What I see now from people is that they are not doing the job that they are only supposed to do. They are ready to go beyond what they are expected to do, so that it helps everyone out. For example, uh, there are a lot of people who face internet intermittent issues, or there's a power disruption, and there is always someone who will raise their hand and say that don't worry, we'll take care of that work that needs to be done. That's from operations side. Then we have recruitment. There are so many clients who have now shifted their time zones, so they are like interviews can happen only in the night shift, post 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the night, and I see recruitment getting that work done. Earlier, when they are in office, probably that might not be an easier task to do, but now they are raising their hand and they're saying that they will do it. Be it IT, you they have been coming to office almost every day from August. Any request that we ask them to, they get it done, regardless of whatever the problem is, right? um, I have seen IT team actually they actually messed up on some of the deliveries, and you won't believe they actually yes, they said that they made a mistake, but even before we could reach out to them and say that let's figure out a way to close this, they would have already done it. There has been times when the IT personnel has gone to the employee house and given the IT equipment by themselves. So see, everyone has rose up to the occasion. They have stayed together. They have worked together. They have ensured that we are running as a BAU, and I think that's one of the reasons. And Eastvantage has been 90-100% work from home without having any major downtimes or major issues with the client for the past 8 months, and it's all because of the collective effort that we have done.
Thank you so much. I actually got goosebumps with your story. That's really very uplifting. Can we get a shout out from the five people who first helped you during the day two of the deliveries, or is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, so many. I think the first one would be Irwin from GBE. I think I know he got too many scoldings from his family just so that he was coming walking to office every day and helping us out. I think he did an immense job helping us out. He actually there were three people actually who bought clothes to me because I didn't have a place to take bath or change my clothes. And second one would be Jade. I think he helped a lot in terms of getting. He actually got some food. He got helped out us out with managing the assets. JR from ITT. I think he was the first one to send people home, help them out. He delivered systems. I don't know where all he went. He went to Rizal at the night, 3 o'clock on the same day. Uh, the Optia team, actually, they all stayed together till the time everyone had got a way to go home. Kamal came to office to deliver some systems. Who else? Yeah, I think IT. These guys are not there, but I think Mark, Jetboy, Noki, these three guys helped us out. Ian was very helpful at that time. So I think these guys I'm calling out, but there were a lot of people, right? A lot of agents as well. Like GFM was working, GB was working, and then everyone was there together to just finish the work done.
Yes, collective effort, and thank you so much, guys, for that. So, Beth, How was your experience during those days? I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not with you during these times. I really wanted to be there for you, but yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know
Where
what?
were you, Yang? I can't remember. You were in your honeymoon,
I
ano?
am supporting you guys in spirit.
But you know what, Yang? 16th of March was my 1 year completion in Eastvantage.
Wow.
Yes, that was your anniversary gift, Sipin. So happy anniversary.
The anniversary challenge.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
Beth.
my experience, basically, like, I was kind of being the head of the BCP, like I was running the show remotely because my family had made the decision to go to Batangas, although we weren't expecting that it was going to be as long as like the months that we were locked down there. But I got the usual support as well from IT and from everybody. Um, so I had the Globe broadband brought down with Transportify. So thankfully, thankfully, the service was running at that time. But to what Sipin was saying earlier, we really saw everybody's resilience, and like everybody kind of like just stepped up, and like there were so many heroes around that time because it's like people who were like whose responsibilities it wasn't, like they weren't it wasn't their responsibility at all. They began delivering the assets, and the guards began being the like IT assistants and like deploying computers and everything and checking monitors and all of that, bringing the items down from the 24th to the ground and keeping track of the count and everything. So really, I mean, like the guards, if you think about it, they're even not even officially East Vantage employees, but really they really stepped up and helped us with this. And also like yeah, so just to support what Sipin was saying, like we were able to really get things moving, but a lot of the decisions had to be made on ground because the situation kept changing every day, and this is really the first time that we were doing these things, right? So true to the nature of East Vantage, I guess, like one of our key strengths is agility, and being agile means changing with the adapting to the changing situation. So indeed, we didn't know if Lala Move was working or if they were going to be allowed, so we had to have a plan A, we had to have a plan B, and we had to have a plan C. So that's mapped out in a giant Google spreadsheet. Now, what happens if plan A fails? Like who's going to take ownership of plan B? And then we had the plan C, which is like the bahala na, bahala na si Batman approach. But thankfully, in many situations it worked. So that's why we were able to really get the show going once we were past the all of the challenges of setting things up for the remote workers.
All right, thank you. So, yes, we are 8 months running 100%. So, as the ones planning the business continuity of East Vantage, how did you see EV evolve through this experience? Let's start with James.
Right. So previously we were uh, I can say everyone is very office dependent. So if you can't come to the office, that means you can't work. So coming from an IT perspective, from a support perspective, that's our mindset before. So we cannot provide support if you are not in the office. So now with all the technology, with this kind of platform Zoom and the remote tools that we have been using, so we are now providing support remotely. So coming from an IT perspective, where for us work from home is impossible previously. Now this experience made it possible. So Isvantage really evolved on this by making an impossible possible. So which is what Isvantage has been doing ever since, and making everything achievable because we have the right people working together.
Thank you, Mr. Evie. How about you, Sipin?
I think what James said, right? It actually showed us a way. It's actually a new business model that we can always work from home, and we can. It's not dependent on how many seats we have or how many seats do we share. It's always dependent on how we can improvise in any situation we fall into. How do we come out of these things? So it all showed us that if there is an intent to do what we plan to do, I think everything is possible, and that's what happened. 8 months down the lane, 100% work from home situation, and we are, from an operational standpoint, we are above 85% for the last 8 months from a productivity standpoint, and we intend to touch 90% by end of this year, and that will be a biggest milestone for operations because we were struggling to cross 80% when we were in office, trying to do all the things that we want to do, uh, communicating with people, doing the coaching sessions, having the FGDs, having whatever we can. But now it's completely different. It's just a Zoom call or a Skype call, and people know what they want to do. Everyone is ready to do their bit, and it's not only helping them; it's helping their peers. It is helping the company. It's helping build that credibility with the client that we are the best partners that they can have to build the system.
Thank you so much for that, contestant number two. How about you, Beth? How did Evie evolve through all of this?
I think it's one of the major things that we saw out of this is that it became a lot more output based rather than it's the same point that James was trying to make. It's basically like instead of clocking in 8 hours inside the office, it really sort of like shed all of the onion skin, and then we just got to the core of what you're really being employed to do, which is like, are you able to provide the output at the end of the day? So yeah, yes, you're still there. Yeah, being in the office, basically like before we were so office dependent. Now it became really output based, and then it's another thing I guess was it really fast tracked the decision making. So a lot of the things that we needed to get approved to increase efficiency, systems, apps, and all of that, like that had cost implications. Some major decisions that had to be made would go through so many layers of management. We had to do away with all of that. We had to really empower each individual to make the best decision. It's very Kaizen, the person who's closest to the job being done is the expert at that thing. So we really like empowered all of the people in their respective departments and accounts to give input and to make decisions on a lot of things. And I think this is Fred will be very happy because that was such a Kaizen exercise, and it turned out really well.
What are the best things about working in EV and being part of the BCP, being part of all of these uh, pandemic response? So, what is the best part, you think? Beth.
The best part is it really showed how strong we are as a team. So it's if we can get through this situation, which is like probably the biggest challenge that we've ever faced as a company, bar none, then it means that we are really in a strong position to take on the next few years. So that really increases the confidence as far as I'm concerned as an employee of Eastvantage.
Yes, that is really true. Sipin.
I think the excitement of how things have changed and how things are going to change, right? 10 years, probably I've been part of it only for 1 year, but I have seen how things have changed in last 1 year. and how things have changed in last 8 months specifically. It has been on the highway in a cruise control mode, I think. So yeah, things are looking good for us. It's just that our people need to understand the they never should forget that what we have faced in last 8 months and learn from that, and probably fix the processes, fix our own efficiency issues and everything. I think going forward would be a good challenge that everyone can face. And in next 10 years, who knows, East Vantage could be the best, if not in the global BPO scenario, but at least in the EV standards, right? In Philippines, we have got so much of competition. Even in BGC, there are a lot of companies, but people stuck around. There were so many people who were redundated, but we brought them back to folds, and they showed that confidence, stayed with us for that 3-4 months of layoff, but stayed with us. I think all those things was a very good experience, I think, and I think next 10 years for us is going to be really great.
Thank you. How about you, James?
Yeah, so for me, the best thing about EV is the opportunities. So ever since EV has been giving me opportunities to grow, opportunities to challenge myself, opportunities to overcome obstacles, and the list goes on. So this during the lockdown, I believe it was Sipin's opportunity to put on the cape and did the EV's Justice League. So he was really the Superman during that time. So yeah, so EV brings out the best of us by giving us these kind of opportunities. And being part of the BCP again is an opportunity for me to collaborate with these great people, getting ready for anything that may come. Making sure that we are well equipped for anything.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
So, before we end all of this, can I get a message for our anniversary? Your message to the people watching, to Fred, Yuri, and to everyone. So let's start with Sipin. You're already on the screen.
uh, okay, I think first of all, happy anniversary to everyone. It's a great achievement for a company to complete 10 years. It's a phase one. If there is going to be phase two, phase three, and it's only going to be challenging. And I think all of us are ready for that challenge. To Fred, Yuri, 3Cs, all the department heads, I think we have got a very good team. It's just that we need to just move forward with this team. Uh, and Fred, Yuri specifically, I think it's a great achievement for both of you for managing this as a close family business. I think apart from your own family, I think you have created a great family within EV.
Thank you so much, James.
So of course, congratulations to everyone, to all of us that made 10 years possible. So to Yuri, Fred, Kamal, and everyone and from East Vantage, I would like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to grow and to develop. And my message to everyone working at home is that uh, I hope you're taking care of your computers well. Please do clean them. Please shut them down properly. So, but more than that, I hope everyone's safe. And again, congratulations to everyone who's been part of these 10 years and 100 more years to come.
Thank you, James, and thank you for plugging the the IT part, injecting it still. Thank you so much. Yes, and to Beth, any message?
No, no, joking. No, it's like the 10 years is for everybody. So it's not just for Fred and Yuri or the Mancom. It's like the last 10 years of Eastvantage was really built on everybody's work, not just hard work, even the small, insignificant, seemingly insignificant work that we've done over the last years. Whether we've been with us for 1 year or nine, uh, those small things led up to this great big first decade anniversary that we're spending. So it's like message is like, let's keep going with the culture. Let's remember to look back at where we started, and just like keep the spirit of the small business mindset, and which is still what we have at the moment. And I'm sure that the next 10 years will be just as fun as the last 10.
All right, thank you so much. So that wraps up our EV talk. Thank you so much, Beth, James, and Sipin, for sharing your experiences during the community quarantine and the past 10 years that we've shared. So thank you, and that ends our EV talk.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thanks,
guys.
Bye bye.
everyone.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Keep safe. Bye.
Bye.